A grand plan to transform South East Queensland has been unveiled by federal, state and local leaders. But one expert is cautioning that major infrastructure spending alone won't translate into making cities more livable. The $1.8 billion South East Queensland City deal, jointly launched yesterday, will deliver more than 30 projects from Brisbane to Toowoomba, Ipswich and the Sunshine Coast, focused on upgrading the region's transport and digital network and improving livability to support a growing population. The infrastructure pact, the largest of its kind in the country, is expected to create more than 2,000 jobs. We need to move away from this over-reliance on transport. University of Queensland Urban Planning Senior Lecturer Dorina Pajane said while investment in future infrastructure is critical, the SEQ City deal does not go far enough. Dr. Pajane said spending on small-scale projects was equally as important as major transport infrastructure. Dr. Dorina Pajane says there's not enough spending on small-scale projects in the deal. Most of the items proposed are big-ticket grey transport infrastructure items, but societal improvements don't need to come from big-ticket items with huge expenditures, she said. Small-scale projects and improvements can bring a lot of benefit and make individual neighbourhoods livable. Something like the citywide cycling network, something that's state-of-the-art, and where intersections are redesigned for cyclists as a priority, that's the kind of thing I'd like to see. It makes the region cleaner with no emissions from cars, which will reduce congestion, she said. The three levels of government will establish a $285.8 million SEQ Livability Fund to deliver improved community facilities, urban amenity, or enhanced livability, and support environmental infrastructure and open space. Telecommunications networks will also receive $70 million to upgrade infrastructure and digital connectivity. There is $150 million in a so-called Innovation Economy Fund to invest in nationally significant capital projects that support small business and social enterprise, with cash for studies to improve digital connectivity and better transport corridors. But my big question is, why do we need another road? Dr. Pajani asked. Metro transport is important, but really, if we look at sustainability going towards the future, we need to move away from this over-reliance on transport. Overall, it's positive this happened. It's an exciting time to be a planner in South East Queensland when there's all this money set aside for planning projects. I'm happy for our graduates who will have lots of work. Here's what the $1.8 billion SEQ City deal will build in your region. Brisbane Metro Wooloon-Gabba Station. Project: a new Brisbane Metro station at the Gabba Stadium, which will be the home of the 2032 Olympic and Paralympic Games. The development will provide improved connectivity and transport solutions. Cost: $450 million from federal, state and local governments. Kangaroo Point Green Bridge. The green bridge that will connect Kangaroo Point to the CBD is said to cost more than $190 million. Project: the bridge will provide a direct connection for pedestrians and cyclists from Kangaroo Point to the CBD. Cost: $190.2 million from federal and local government. Brisbane Metro South Bank Transport Study. Project: an investigation into modal integration and transport connectivity for the Riverside South Bank precinct. Cost: $1 million from federal, state and local governments. SEQ Livability Fund. Cost: $120.84 million. Toowoomba Railway Parklands. Project: the money will be spent on exploring options of the Toowoomba Railway Parklands priority development area to increase housing availability. Cost: $25 million from federal, state and local governments. Loading: Wellcamp Entertainment Precinct. Project: a motorsport and entertainment precinct will be developed near Toowoomba. Cost: $40 million from the state government plus $95 million from the private sector. SEQ Livability Fund. Cost: $13.48 million. Sunshine Coast. Blue Heart. Project, a furthering of the existing partnership with the floodplain management project Blue Heart. Actions will include flood management, sediment reduction, and general protection of the Maroochy River catchment. Cost, $35.3 million from federal, state and local governments in partnership with the private sector. SEQ Livability Fund. Cost, $31.94 million. Somerset. Brisbane Valley Highway Safety Upgrades. Project, upgrades for nearly 90 kilometres of the highway that is a major freight corridor between from the agricultural Somerset region and the rest of South East Queensland. Cost, $40.5 million from federal, state and local governments. SEQ Livability Fund. Cost, $1.66. Scenic Rim. Bro-Melton State Development Area Business Case. Project, the case will aim to determine what infrastructure and investment will be needed to best utilise a more than 15,000 hectare state development area near Beaudesert. Cost, $5 million from federal, state and local governments. SEQ Livability Fund. Cost, $2.76 million. Redlands. The ferry terminal plan is hoped to boost tourism to the island. Dunwich Ferry Terminal Upgrade. Project, the ferry terminal at Dunwich on Stradbroke Island will receive a new pontoon, shelters, retail and commercial premises, as well as upgrades to the surrounding landscape and arrivals area. Cost, $41 million from federal, state and local governments. SEQ Livability Fund. Cost, $12.68 million. Moreton Bay. Growth Area Compact. Project, the compact will aim for a more coordinated approach for infrastructure to support more affordable housing in Caboolture West. Cost, $210 million from federal, state and local governments. SEQ Livability Fund. Cost, $45.53 million. Logan. Loganlia Meadowbrook Infrastructure Southern Gateway Business Case. It is hoped $45 million will provide a business case to revitalise the Loganlia Meadowbrook precinct. Project, funding for planning to revitalise the Loganlia and Meadowbrook precinct, improving investment in connectivity and mobility for the area. Cost, $45 million from federal, state and local governments. Southern Gateway Business Case. Project, a business case for a proposed transport corridor to connect communities in Park Ridge, Flagstone and Yarrabilla. It would provide a direct link to the Logan and Gateway motorways. Cost, $1 million from federal, state and local governments. SEQ Livability Fund. Cost, $32.46 million. Lockyer Valley. Water initiatives in the Lockyer Valley. Project, funds will be invested in ways to enhance water supply and usage in the region. Cost, $13.4 million from deal partners. SEQ Livability Fund. Cost, $2.67 million. Ipswich. Ipswich Springfield Public Transport Corridor Options Analysis. Project, options will be put forward to determine the feasibility of 9 new public transport stations between Ipswich Central and Springfield Central. Cost, $2.5 million from federal, state and local governments, with another $7.5 million allocated for a business case subject to approvals. SEQ Livability Fund. Cost, $18.18. Noosa. SEQ Livability Fund. Cost, $3.58 million.